Oh, what is this?
I think they do a ghost tour.
Yeah, right now they're doing a ghost tour.
They're doing a ghost tour?
Yeah, for October. I don't know if they always do it or if it's just
So this is my first double interview, just letting you know. I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth between the two of you. And why don't you start by just shouting out your name, and then we'll get into Bike Mesa.
Cool. All right, well, I'm Louis Montez. I'm from Mesa, and I'm one of the co-organizers with Lindsay here.
I'm Lindsay Lyon, and I've lived in Mesa for, I think, 14 years.
I don't know you all very well, but I do know that you guys are always promoting community events, and you guys have a big group ride once a month, and which I've been to several times. So I just wanted to collaborate with you guys and get your story, the history of Bike Mesa, and hear what y'all are up to.
Sure. You want to start with the history of Bike Mesa?
Well, we didn't actually start the original Bike Mesa. Who started that?
Josh Weaver.
And that was like, what, 6 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
And I joined it to get involved. Wanted to bring biking to Mesa. And then COVID hit, and it just died. And he moved.
Yep.
So I hit up Louie, and we were like, we should get this going again and make it a group ride thing. So we did.
Yep. That was August of 2021. That was the first big group ride that we did where we've been consistent. We did have a couple of group rides several years before that, before the pandemic. Yeah, August 21, we decided to go for it and start doing the rides again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been every month since then. So we've been really consistent with every third Friday. Yeah, so tonight is going to be ride number 26?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if anybody would come, but then the first ride we had like 45 bikes, and we were blown away.
Yeah.
And last month we had about 85 bikes come out. Yeah.
What was it if it wasn't a group ride?
So Josh Weaver put together a group, and it was mainly around advocacy. City of Mesa doesn't have the best biking infrastructure. A lot of it's pretty dangerous out here. And he wanted to see that get better. I wanted to get involved as well, and so I just found his group on Facebook and I started speaking with him. And before the pandemic, and we had a couple rides, but we also we're doing regular meetings to sort of see how we can work with the city and try to improve things.
And this is still going on now?
It is, just sort of getting people to come out and showing them downtown Mesa, and just having a good time with that. But we still have a lot of things that we have to do with the city. So downtown's great. We got bars, we got restaurants, a lot of stuff in the last few years, but we don't really have safe paths to get here. So what happens is a lot of people will load their bikes into a truck, drive down here, unload the bikes, and then ride around with us.
Yeah.
That needs to get better. So one thing a lot of people don't know about the whole Metro Phoenix area is that we've got 160 miles of canals. That's more than twice as much as Amsterdam and Venice put together. We have a lot of canals over here. So we have the backbone for good cycling infrastructure. We don't have them all connected. We don't have half of them even paved with like multi-use path. So we need to do better there.
Yeah.
In Mesa, we have one of our canals paved, and that's probably the best way to get between Mesa and Tempe. I'm sure you've taken that, goes under the 101-202 interchange.
Yeah.
And the real Salado path.
But that's really about it. That's a really great path, but it's not a network. It's not really infrastructure. So we need to do better than that. And my hope is that running our pub crawls, our brunch rides, everything that we do, just gets people used to seeing what is downtown, what it could be if it was a lot safer and a lot easier to get here.
Absolutely. Have the history of Bike Mesa. Tell me about current events. You have your monthly ride, which we briefly talked about.
Third Friday of every month.
Yeah, third Friday of every month. And you have a brunch ride?
Yeah, in the cooler months, October through April, we do a monthly brunch ride, and that's a real ride, like longer, a lot of miles. So between 16 and 20 miles, with a brunch stop in the middle or at the end.
And Lindsay, you organize that, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we both do.
Yeah.
That's the one that I lead. Louis leads the
I lead
bar
this
crawl.
one.
And I lead the brunch ride.
With this goofy DJ bike now.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in just a second.
Do we want to turn around so we're not on center?
Or we can go across.
Do you want to go down? Or
you want to go across and go like around the amphitheater and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
If we get a break between this. Yeah, what we need to do here is lose one lane of traffic. There isn't that much traffic, but since these are 4 very large lanes, the cars that are on here go way too fast, and it's dangerous to be riding around here.
And this is the one that connects to the canal. Straight up there.
So we did a presentation during the Transportation Advisory Board meeting last month, and one of the things presented was to potentially use Center here as the main cycling artery to get downtown, which makes a lot of sense because, yeah, if we head north on Center, we'll hit the canal.
Yeah.
So we would begin to actually build a network based off of the canal, one that would take us to Tempe. That same canal also goes all the way down into Gilbert. So it's perfect for the main artery, and then start branching off of that with the first branch come to downtown would make a lot of sense.
Like how many people come?
The brunch ride tends to be smaller, which is good because we go to mini brunch. So usually around like 19 people average, which is great size.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then your monthly ride, I know when I was here last October, I want to say I've been to at least 3, maybe 4 or 5 of your rides, and I think the Halloween one was the biggest one I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So you're expecting a lot of people tonight, probably?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Although last month's ride, our September ride, had about 85. It's kind of hard to count right as we're leaving, right? It was about 85, and our Halloween ride last year was 82.
Okay.
So I think our biggest ride was last month.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're still growing, which is awesome.
Yeah. It's fun to see new people come too.
Tell me about this contraption that you're riding on.
Well, so I like weird bikes. This one's weird. This is the second weird bike that we've used. Actually, it's the third. So Christmas of 21, I found a cargo bike with a flatbed and put a Christmas tree on it. And that was pretty well received. People seem to like the goofy Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then my friend Chuck, who was a previous owner of Oro Brewing Company, got me a pedicab. Like the ones you see around the stadium where you somebody, like a little taxi, hauls a couple of people. So that one, I put a bunch of karaoke equipment on it, a couple of screens, wireless mics, and that's a lot of fun, but it's geared for hauling a lot of weight and it's really slow.
And it's only, you can only use it at the end of the ride.
And we can only use it at the end of the ride. It's still a fun bike. It's neat. But then I was watching YouTube, saw a guy in London, or Brighton, in the UK, named Dom Whiting. He's really into drum and bass. I'm a little more house, although I like some drum and bass music. Anyways, he put together a DJ bike. I thought that was amazing. That guy started off just live streaming himself DJing a couple years ago. After a while, you start seeing more people following behind him in his videos. A couple of months ago, he had 3,000 people following him on his DJ bike in Brighton again, I think.
Right here.
And now he's doing them all over Europe. Go right here.
Yeah.
And I am not a professional DJ. I built the bike and then decided I better learn how to do this. Because the bike sounded like a great idea.
That's awesome.
If you want to hear a really good DJ, Michael Morgan, he's great. Other people in the valley are really good at this. I know enough to play some music, mix some music, do some sound effects, a little bit things like that while riding a bike.
And it lights up, and he made us lights that go with the music. So like these lights They light up with whatever he's playing.
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer by trade. I also do a lot of microcontrollers and things like that. So this bike, it's not turned on right now. It'll be turned on tonight when it's dark. Has an audio sensor, and my friend Sheldon, who's also a software guy, hooked up the audio sensor with the microcontroller, and we built a whole bunch of these things. Lindsay has one on her bike. I've got one on here. We've got a bunch of bikes. Those audio sensors listen for the bass of the music, and they are all in time. So anybody that's in the area with some of these lights, we put on a little light show while we're riding as well.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Okay, since you're talking about tech, did you want to, I don't know where we were at. Was it a non-profit or?
Oh yeah, so we were just at Heatsink Labs. So I'm a member of Heatsink Labs. Been on the board off and on. Currently I just volunteer over there. But it's a non-profit. It's a makerspace in downtown Mesa. And so most of the weird bike stuff that I do, I use the tools over there. So we have a bike repair station, but we also have metalworking, welding, 3D printing, everything in a prototype, weird stuff like this. And a bunch of nerds hanging around over there. Like, you don't know how to do something, they're usually willing to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty close to where we start our bike ride, which is Oro Brewing. And we always finish up our bike rides at Chupacabra. These are our two favorite bars, and they happen to be right next to each other. So we start at one, we end at the other every time.
Do you have any websites you want to shout out? It's bikemesa.org.
Oh yeah, bikemesa.org, and heatsinklabs.org is the makerspace.
Heatsinklabs.org.
Yep, heatsinklabs.org.
Very nice.
Yep, and both of them have Instagrams and Twitters and Facebooks and everything as well.
And Lindsay does social media for Bike Mesa?
Yeah, I run the Instagram page, and that's at BikeMesaAZ.
At BikeMesaAZ on Instagram. And then we have the website, and then are you active anywhere else? Facebook?
Oh yeah, we have the Facebook group too.
Just Bike Mesa AZ? Yeah. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about y'all's history with bikes, because I know that you all love bikes also.
Yeah, so I got into riding bikes about 5 years ago, and how I got started was I wanted to learn mountain biking, and so I kind of started mountain biking, and then I met bike people who referred me to the tip ride, Tempe Inclusive Pedaling, and I'd never been on a group ride before like that, and I thought it was so much fun.
And that's Tempe, right?
Yeah, and that was every Tuesday, which now is every Thursday. They've switched that.
Yeah, they were inactive for a while, right?
Yeah, they stopped after COVID, but I was there every week. I loved it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so then from there, it's like you just get to know the bike community and you just become a part of it, so.
Yeah, for sure. When did you start going to Critical Mass?
When it started. I think it was a long time ago, and then recently restarted. I started going when Luke took it over.
I always hear different things, so I don't know. I don't know the timeline on that. I hope to get an interview with Luke someday, but
yeah, I only know it when Luke was doing it, so that's when I started going.
So mountain biking took you to the group rides.
Yeah.
And then where'd you go after that? You have like a gravel bike here, kind of?
Yeah, and then I just started buying more bikes. So
yeah.
I have my gravel bike, I have my Brompton.
Oh, nice.
Brian Guzzi, do you know him? Oh, he got me into Bromptons because we did the New York ride, the 5 Boroughs ride.
Oh.
And you can travel with the Brompton so easily.
Yeah.
So he let me borrow it to go do that ride, and I loved it, so I bought one.
I folled Danny, so I've been seeing his Brompton
yeah, he went
journey.
too. Yeah. So it's just kind of the bike, you know, once you get into bikes, you start accumulating more bikes. Yeah, you.
All right. Well, when I was about 5 years old, my sister put me on a bike and pushed me into traffic, and I had to figure it out.
Where was this at?
Growing up, not far from here. I grew up here in Mesa, so
wow.
only a couple of miles from here, my mom's house.
Wow.
And yeah, my older sister just made me ride a bike. But I loved it actually. Not that night, but but soon once I learned how to ride, I was about 5 years old. And by the time I was 7 or 8, we were setting up ramps on the street, and using our little BMXs and jumping over things, whatever. I don't think I ever really stopped. I've always liked riding. Only in the last few years did I care about what the city was doing and putting into it and wanting to make things better. But I've always enjoyed it as far back as I can remember.
Tell me about your bikes throughout the years.
Okay, let's see, DJ bike, karaoke bike, a couple of e-bikes. I like Bromptons as well. My son also has a Brompton, and we've taken those touring. You can take them on a plane. Fixie, mountain bike. I did a little bit of racing on a road bike. Not particularly good at that, but that was kind of fun, with the clips and everything. But I think I have more fun now if I can just ride around somewhere. You know, it doesn't have to be a racing bike. And I don't do mountain bikes very often anymore either. I like to be sort of upright, be able to see around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just too many bikes. And of course I'm looking at another one now. I do want a really good touring bike now. I want to go really far.
What are you looking at?
I really like the Surly Disc Trucker.
Okay.
Not particularly easy to get a hold of. But it looks like I could put a lot of, put like 4 panniers on them and just hold a lot of cargo. And now that the weather's finally breaking a little bit, I think it'd be nice to do a couple 100 miles with a tent, stuff like that.
Feeling nicer already.
Yeah.
The sun's going down.
Because the sun's going down, right?
So were there any bikes throughout the years that were really special that you remember, like the model?
You know, it's funny, I remember having a little green bike when I was a kid. I don't know the model. It was some piece of junk. I'm sure my dad found it at a yard sale somewhere and cleaned it up for me and painted it green because I liked green a lot when I was a little kid. Probably my favorite bike looking back because that was mine and it was the color I wanted, and my dad fixed it up and thought I was king of the neighborhood for a while.
Nice.
Community outreach, or going to committee meetings or anything like that? Or
I used to be on the board of Teabag. I'm not anymore. My boyfriend is now. And I know that Louis is going to
I've tried unsuccessfully several years in a row to get on Mesa's Transportation Advisory Board.
Okay.
I hate to say it's personal, but they don't want me on it. I don't know exactly why, but so I do attend the meetings. Representation for forms of transportation that aren't giant trucks like that, guys.
Let's go left here.
That's classic. Giant trucks, as we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cycling infrastructure. We do have this little stretch right here.
Yeah, this is new.
This is, I mean, protected with some vertical paint here.
Well, I was down here just 2 or 3 months ago, and this entire bike lane for a whole block was filled with tour buses.
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
This is nice because there's room. This road here is about 90 feet across. It doesn't have that much car traffic, so might as well have protected lanes on it. Unfortunately, they don't really go anywhere. It's just this, half mile or so. So it's nice. It'd be great if this was everywhere, but it's not going to get that much usage if it doesn't connect to anything. So if we had this on center, say going up to the canal, something like this, I think you'd get plenty of usage.
I know it's on their radar. Jen just said it.
Yeah. It just takes a long time for anything to get done. We actually had elections in 2018 and 2020 where the residents decided, yes, we want to put some money into cycling infrastructure. The city hasn't broken ground on anything yet there. Then we've had money for at least 5 years without anything being built. I'm worried that it'll just get allocated to something else. Very possible. There is one project that probably will happen, unfortunately, and that's a recreational path in Northeast Mesa called the Lehigh Loop. So there's a brand new neighborhood out there bunch of ranch properties, very sparsely populated neighborhood, very wealthy houses, or wealthy neighborhood. More than 60% of the money is going to go towards building them a recreational path. So while it's not safe to get to downtown where people spend money and, you know, gain the city a lot of sales tax, there isn't a safe way to get here, yet we're going to put money into a recreational path in Northeast Mesa that's disconnected from everything else. It's pretty upsetting. Pretty sure that being outspoken about this is why I'm not on the Transportation Advisory Council, but that's maybe not, hard to say.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. I don't follow Mesa politics, so I have no idea who is there, but
yeah, I try not to either. It's but this is something that actually affects us, because instead of spending $10 million, or after all the expenditure that comes, it's probably closer to 13 million. When we have less than 20. Based on the couple of bonds from the previous 2 elections. It'd be a shame if we didn't get closer to having connectivity to downtown with money that we've already allocated for just that purpose. And if we don't do it with this, we didn't have anything in the 2022 election cycle, and we don't right now have anything on the 2024 election cycle to provide for more funding for these types of projects. So it could be a long time till this actually happens if we waste the money on something else.
yeah.
So it is a big concern. So that's my whole downer thing for this.
No.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on, obviously. Stuff that, you know, Lindsay and I are putting together.
Well, it's fun to watch downtown Mesa get revitalized. And we always do a ride to a new business that opens up to kind of welcome them to the neighborhood.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
You guys post a lot of new.
Yeah. And then once there's, you know, if there's not anything new, then we just kind of rotate and try to give everybody a chance to be the second stop. And sometimes businesses have reached out to us. There was a new market down on Main Street that messaged us and said, "Will you please bring your ride here?" And we did. And we went there and got beers, and then I got a beer permit, and we went and had beers in the park. So
Awesome.
that was fun.
Yeah, it's too bad about the advisory committee. If people wanted to help in any way, I'm sure you guys post links on your social media.
So I go to the Transportation Advisory Council meetings. If there's anything on the normal city council meeting around transportation, I'll usually try to go to those as well. So if anybody wants to go with me, so I'm not the only angry guy shaking his fist at the city, it'd be awesome.
Do you usually post those on your social media?
When there's one that's really important, I'll put it on the Facebook page.
Okay.
We were going to start offering incentives like, get a Bike Mesa shirt, you come
Oh, okay.
to the meeting.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Good.
And how do you get funding for stuff like that?
We don't have funding.
We don't have any.
It's all,
Louie and I, it's all,
Yeah, we just put our
it's
own.
just us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. Our friends buy us beers and stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people appreciate you guys for sure.
Oh, we appreciate when people come out. I'm like totally surprised. Yeah, Lindsay in August is like, we should do a ride. I'm like, who's going to show up? And people started showing up, and now a lot of people show up, and everybody seems to have a good time.
Yeah, and they look forward to it. We have one couple that's their date night, is the Bike Mesa ride.
I don't think they've missed it over 2 years.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, 2021
Okay,
August, that's when we did the first one. It was Lindsay's idea, and then you know, we just went with it, and
people liked it, so we kept doing it.
So we kept doing it, and it's been great.
Yeah.
And now, like there's new businesses popping up. We get to celebrate those new businesses and have a good time, and that's working out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this strip right here in downtown Mesa is just amazing. There's so many good restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch.
And we'll claim complete responsibility for that. This is all money is bringing people down here to get to know the neighborhood. So we'll take all the credit for the revitalization of downtown Mesa.
You guys need to put a little tip jar on that thing. Plug your personal pages?
Well, we do have, so we have our pub crawl, which is tonight. Next weekend we have the brunch ride. We got a third ride coming.
Oh yeah,
I'll go ahead and announce it since we're on video here. My friend Sheldon, who's over at the lab right now working on this thing, in addition to the DJ bike, we are going to have another trailer with speakers and a big screen. And in areas like this alley that we're on right now, maybe First Street, where there isn't very many cars, we're going to use that screen, a bunch of wireless mics and big speakers, and have a ride and sing, a karaoke event where we're biking around, hopefully in a safe enough area so we can look at a screen while riding and singing along. I'm thinking November will be the first one of those. So look out for Bike Mesa Ride and Sing, Bike Mesa Brunch Ride, Bike Mesa Pub Crawl. Yeah.
That's all we got right now.
That's all we got. We don't have a fourth ride yet, but 3 is plenty for now.
Did you want to go in and get a sneak peek of that thing?
Oh, sure, yeah.
We're here, right?
Yeah, we're here. We'll let's go around the front.
Yeah,
Front's got the bigger doors.
Oh, there's I'll meet you there. I'm gonna get a shot of this Sync Lab door.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's Heat Sync Labs.
Now I gotta come that thing back on. Have some motivating things.
So
This place can't be cheap. How do y'all?
So it's not profit, but we have members like myself that pay enough that we pull our resources and we're able to keep the rent unpaid and the lights on. Yeah.
Oh, here's the...
Oh, trophies. This right here, here's a preview.
There it is.
So this actually raises up, so the TV will come up about this high, and this bike trailer will be on one of the bikes with some speakers and following the DJ bike around, but that will be the lyrics being displayed for Bike Mesa Ride and Sing.
That's going to be amazing. I think your rides might get bigger.
We'll see how this one goes.
Louis really into karaoke.